I greet our priests and all friends and family who have come from far and from not so far for this important celebration in our archeparchy. It's been a decade since a priest has been ordained here. And in this year of many wars in the world, among them one that is killing tens of thousands of our people, maiming hundreds of thousands, traumatizing millions. A war that is keeping the parents of our deacon Andriy away from us, from this celebration, because of the difficulties of travel. At this time, we celebrate the feast of the Holy Passion Bearers and Martyrs Boris and Gleb. Богу дякувати, що наші календарі починають синхронізуватися. І вказують на це, що в літі ми маємо цілий ряд праздників, пов'язаних з становленням нашої церкви. The feast of St. Boris and Gleb, which we celebrate today, is among a number of feasts in the summer that mark and remind us of the beginnings of our church, of the gift of our baptism. July 11th is the feast of St. Olha. July 15th, the feast of St. Volodymyr. Now on the 24th, we have the feast of the first saints canonized in Ukraine, Saints Boris and Gleb. And then on August 1st, traditionally, our church celebrated the anniversary of Volodymyr's baptism. It's a time to renew our baptism. It's a time to hear again what is Christ's call. There are different callings, and today we celebrate the vocation of a man to the priesthood. But each of us has a vocation. Our readings from the Romans and from John, on one hand, are counterpunctual. They're kind of two sides of the same coin. Paul to the Romans, a community that is young, he hasn't yet visited, speaks to them about their divisions, about the hardships of our life, our human life, of our Christian life. And he reassures them, saying that for everybody that loves God, everything works for the good. And he reassures them and us that not only will our love be the matrix of our joy, but God's love will not be separated from us by death or life, by angels or principalities, by any occurrence, if we don't let that happen. The gospel speaks about the hardships that those called to Christ will face. Our married couples, parents, our sisters and priests, all can witness to the challenges there are in life. But besides the difficulty of managing one's own life, there is the challenge that can come from without. The hatred. I don't think the word hate is used more often in the Gospels than it was in this reading today. You will be hated. If you are followers of Jesus, you will be hated. You will be persecuted. It is the reading for the feast of the Holy Passion Bearers Boris and Gleb in 1015, 1008 years ago. Prince Volodymyr, Grand Prince Volodymyr, died. And was, as often was the case, even among Christians, there was a struggle for power. And Boris and Gleb, who were younger brothers, said, no, we will not raise our sword against our older brother, Sviatopolk, the cursed, who attacked them and killed them. 900 years before Gandhi, almost 1,000 years before Nelson Mandela and Martin Luther King, in a context of war, political strife, the first generation of Christians, the sons of Volodymyr, took a radical stance of nonviolence. And the Church of Kiev decided to canonize them as the first saints of Kiev and Rus, Ukraine. Their example is Christ-like. They are called passion bearers because they gave their life out of love for their brother who had violent intentions against them. It is a paradox that among our people, those names are not too popular. There's not too many Borises around. Among bishops, I think I'm the only one in the Catholic Church out of 5,000. And there's even fewer Glebs, although we do have a Bishop Gleb in Paris, for whom we pray today. We don't have many churches named after Boris and Gleb. Think about it. I don't think there's a single church in America out of our 200 named after the first canonized saints. There's one, I think, in the Winnipeg eparchy, and there's very, very few in Western Ukraine among our people. The Orthodox, they have more Borises and Glebs and more attention to these saints who are a paradox for those who covet power. It is on this feast that Deacon Anдрій Rubля will be ordained, a man who has the gift of peace. Сьогодні, ще перед хіротонією вашого сина, дорогий отче Оресте, дорога добродійко Марія, ми хочемо подякувати вам за нього. Він, який ріс в священичій сім'ї, він, який вже 10 років формально готується до сьогоднішнього дня, є плодом вашої любові. Через вас Господь дав йому життя, ви його привели до вод хрещення, ви дали йому приклад. Our dear Deacon Андрій is a quiet man. But I have come to know him as a man of prayer, of fasting, and of a deep desire to serve. And I think those of you who have encountered him can add to these perceptions. наш дорогий діякон Андрій стане священником в дуже непростий час, коли різні традиції, різні структури, різне, властиво, зовнішнє, що дає нам відчуття безпеки, десь помалу зникає. Але це даватиме вам, дорогий діяконе Андрію, нагоду в житті разом з вашою дружиною у свіжий, живий спосіб шукати способів свідчити як священник і як священича сім'я. Ми є скромні, нас небагато, ми не маємо сили. Але перед нами є постаті Бориса і Гліба. Ті, які засвідчили про поставу і виховання, отримані від їхнього батька Володимира. We know very little about Saint Volodymyr, his grandmother Olga, and the first two saints of Ukraine, Boris and Gleb. There's no diaries, there's no Facebook stream. There's no book of reminiscences that they left behind. There are chronicles and saints' lives written well past the time of their life and death. But we know that Volodymyr made a very serious step through his baptism. Not only did it change the culture, give literacy, provide a calendar, inspire architecture, iconography, art, singing, that without which our Ukrainian people are unthinkable. But it had a very personal effect. Volodymyr, who had a big harem, chose one wife. He almost eliminated the death penalty. And his two sons were radical followers of Christ. Out of love for their brother, they succumbed, submitted to his violence. That can be only done through grace. It's not natural. It's supernatural. Отже, дорогі Андрію, ми вас супроводжаємо молитвою в дусі сьогоднішніх читань. Ніщо не може, де ви є, дорогі брати, вас можуть ненавидіти, можуть переслідувати. Будьте в мирі, дивіться прямо в вічі Спасителю, який вам це вже обіцяв в день ваших свячень. І майте як супутників цих перших святих, яких смирення, тихість, лагідність і братня любов є і вашим покликанням. Приступаємо ми зараз цілою нашою спільнотою до молитви за Андрія, за його служіння, за його священство, за його дружину Галину, Амадея, дитину, яка в дорозі, за всіх тих людей, яким Андрій буде служити. Нехай тихість і віра, і любов святих старстотерпців і мучеників, перших канонізованих святих нашого народу, буде з Андрієм і всіми нами сьогодні і по всі дні нашого життя. В ім'я Отця і Сина, і Святого Духа. Амінь. Слава Ісусу Христу! Glory to Jesus Christ!